Hi, I am Nick Clements, and in this video I want to show you how to make a fairly simple journal or sketchbook. Now the first thing we need is just some paper. 8.5 by 11 sheets will work, but it's a bit large, so I think the first thing we want to do is cut them down into about half. And to do that I'm just going to use a guillotine cutter and just cut about 2 sheets at once. And first I'm just going to put some tape on the cutter to give myself an easy guide for where to place the paper. Now immediately I got annoyed that my blade would not stay up. It made it pretty difficult to put in sheet after sheet. So I quickly just added some eyelets and then put a bungee cord in. And that solved the problem. Leaving me with about 50 or so sheets of paper, 8.5 by 5.5 in size. Now there are many binding methods we could use. I find one of the easiest to be comb binding. Now a high capacity automated machine can get quite expensive, but you can find a simple manual machine for around $30. The actual combs come in a wide range of sizes, so you can select the one that best fits the amount of paper you have. I think this one in the middle will work just fine. Of course, before we can attach the comb, we need to punch out the corresponding holes. So we'll just take a few sheets at a time, place them in the machine, press down. Repeat the process for your stack of paper. I also want to take some thicker cardstock and put that on as a front and back cover. So I'm going to cut that in half, punch that out as well, and then sandwich our paper in between those two thicker sheets. Now to bind everything together, the machines have a really cool mechanism on the top to stretch out the comb and hold it open, making it really easy to put the paper on it. So now it's just a matter of lining up the holes in our stack of paper with the comb and putting it on. Usually you end up having to do it in a few different chunks. Release the lock to close the comb. And there it is, our bound notebook. Now we could leave things here as is, but we'll take it one step further and add a nice cover and spine with some leather. I'm going to use this nice thick leather as my cover, and to make a quick template, I'm just going to cut off the punched holes on a spare sheet, and then use that to trace out my cover. And with that cover traced, I can just cut it out with a knife and a straight edge. Now this leather is pretty bent, so I'm actually going to try and flatten it a bit. And to do that, all I'm going to do is spritz it down with a bit of water and then put some weight on top of it and leave it like that for a few hours. Removing the weights now, we can see that our leather has flattened out quite nicely. So now I can go ahead and just finish off trimming it to size. I'm going to use this thinner piece of maroon leather as my spine, and I'm just going to cut a strip of that out. I'm going to use some painter's tape to get that positioned in place, putting on the front cover and taping that to the spine, and doing the same for the back. And now to permanently attach the spine to the front and back cover, I'm just going to use some rubber cement, just brushing it on to the edge of the cover, and then folding it over to transfer some of that glue to the spine. Peeling it back, I can now see how far over I need to put the glue without going into an area that I don't want glue. Letting that dry for a few minutes, I can now push those together for a nice permanent bond. Doing the same steps for the back. Now our cover is ready to be glued on to the book. And for that, I'm just going to use some spray adhesive, but I actually don't want to put any adhesive on the spine, so I'm going to block that off. Spraying a generous amount of adhesive on the cover. Spray adhesive makes a great gift, by the way. And all that's left to do is stick in the book. And that's it. That's our finished journal. Now there's any number of ways that you can take this even further. You can make the cover out of wood. You can design and print your own customized paper, make and add specialty pages. There's really no limit to the amount of customizing you can do with these. But I think that the comb binding makes for a really great and easy base to build upon. But my sincere thank you for watching. Once again, I am Nick D. Clements. If you're wondering, Nick is short for Nicholas, and the D stands for Doyle. Anyway, I'm off to make something else.